Even though yoga is a fantastic form of exercise for many people, I have a couple of big concerns about it for people over the age of 50. In today's video, I'm going to reveal what those concerns are and how you can combat them at home. My name is Harlow and I specialize in helping people over the age of 50 to improve their strength and mobility so they can stay independent. And today I'm going to reveal my big yoga concern. First, I want to clarify that I think yoga is a wonderful form of exercise for many people, and you should certainly not stop doing it just because of the headline of this video. Secondly, I know lots of very skilled yoga instructors. These people tend to be highly knowledgeable, very skilled, and they're very good at their job. So this is not a slight on the profession of people who teach yoga. And third, I know there are many different types of yoga, and this does not address the spiritual aspect of it, only the physical. But that being said, I do have two big concerns about yoga that I want to share with you today. My first concern is this: increasing your flexibility without also increasing your strength leads to a loss of control. Now, many yoga classes have an approach where they try and get the people who do it to improve their flexibility over time, usually through stretching and certain poses. And that's a really good thing, especially if you're a gentleman who's very stiff and you haven't moved well in years. But what about if you're already very flexible and you dedicate yourself to yoga? Well, that might be totally fine as long as you're also very strong. The problem is, in my experience, most people who are already very flexible have the opposite problem. They're weak as well. If you're weak, then by definition, you lack control. And if you lack control over a joint, then it's exposed to movements that could potentially cause an injury. Let's take an extreme example. Say you had hypermobility, which means your joints can move much more than most people's. If you started a big stretching program, do you think that's going to make your control better or worse? It's probably going to make it worse because you're opening up even more movement, which means you've got less control than you had before, which makes injury and pain more likely. So that's my first concern. Increasing your flexibility beyond the point actually ceases to be helpful unless you're also training your strength at the same time. But thankfully, by pairing the following exercises with your current yoga practice, you can tick all of your strength boxes and ensure that your joints and muscles stay protected for many years to come. So I'm going to show you the best exercises to add into your routine now, but just be aware they're not suitable for everyone. Get checked out before you try them and avoid any of the ones that cause you pain. One of the most common areas in the body to get stretched during yoga is the hamstrings. But if you don't build up strength here, you can leave yourself vulnerable to an injury. Thankfully, this exercise ticks the boxes and gives you both strength and control over that movement. It's called the Romanian deadlift, and to do this exercise, you either need a barbell or a couple of dumbbells. Here's how it looks. You're going to bend down and pick up your weights and just rest them against the fronts of your legs like this. Holding that position there, keep yourself upright, and now stick your bottom out and slide the weights down the front of your legs without bending your knees. When you get down to here, you're going to stop and bring the movement back up into reverse. You're going to go down again like this. So slide the dumbbells down just until you feel a stretch in your hamstrings, and then you're going to come back up. And what this is doing here is it's eccentrically strengthening your hamstrings because they're getting longer while they contract on the way down. You feel the stretch at the bottom, which is your natural limit, and then it's concentrically strengthening them on the way back up as you contract the hamstrings to bring yourself back up like this. It's such a great exercise to strengthen the hamstrings, and it also trains this hip hinging movement because our back is staying perfectly straight. It's the hips that are moving, not the spine, so it's totally safe to do, even for people who've got back pain. It's just a wonderful way to get stronger. So I'd recommend doing this exercise about 10 repetitions in a row. Do 3 sets with a 1 minute's rest in between. If you can do that just once or twice a week, it will go a long way to keeping your legs safe. By the way, if you're enjoying this routine so far and you want more help in improving your strength and your mobility, and safeguarding your body from injuries over time, then check out my lifelong mobility program. It's got tons of exercise routines inside, guided by me in real time, and there's a link to check it out in the description box below. The next exercise we're going to do to help you build strength and protect yourself from the risks of excess flexibility is the eccentric goblet squat. And this exercise will help you strengthen the muscles in your thigh that we haven't yet talked about, your quads and also your glutes as well, which will really safeguard you from excess flexibility in the lower half of your body. It will also help with the protection of your back too. Here's how the exercise looks. You just need one of those dumbbells that you used before. You're going to pick it up like this and hold it tight into your chest with the palms up. And what we're going to do is keep a nice upright spine, take your feet about hip, shoulder width apart, something like that, turn them out slightly just so you've got room, and then you're going to stick your bottom out and bend your knees and sink down into a squat as slowly as you can. Now, once you get to the bottom of the squat, you're then going to come up a little bit quicker. So it's like this. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down as deep as you can go, and then we come up 1, 2. So it's like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. And look how I'm keeping my back straight. It's my hips and my knees that are bending. My back is staying nice and straight. And if you don't have the control to go down as far as me, don't worry. You don't need to go all the way to the bottom to make this effective. Sometimes I'll give people this exercise just to go down to here and then come back up. You might have to do more reps, but at the end of the set, you should still feel those muscles in your legs working. What we want to get at the end of that set, so somewhere between 10 and 20 repetitions, is a working ache in these muscles here and in these muscles here. If you can do 3 sets of that just a couple of times a week, that will go a long way to fixing many of the flexibility problems. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video, just do me a quick favor and hit the subscribe button. You'll be the first to hear about our new videos when they come out, and it really helps the channel to grow. It's totally free. Thank you very much if you do it. This third exercise is incredible for anyone who does yoga and who wants to improve the strength and control around their whole upper body. This exercise literally ticks all the boxes. It's called the curl, twist and press, and it looks something like this. You just need a chair and a couple of light dumbbells to get you started. You're going to sit on the edge of your chair, holding your dumbbells in each hand like this, feet flat on the floor, and it's got 3 parts to this movement, 3 stages. We're going to curl, then we're going to twist, and then we're going to press, okay? And then we're going to come down, in, and down. Let me show you again. I'll break each part down. So the curl is this part. We're going from keeping the dumbbells down here with the thumbs facing forward to bringing our palms up to face us with the arms, with the dumbbells up. And this works the biceps, okay? The muscles at the front of the arms, which are very important for pulling movements. The second part is the twist. So we go from here to here, okay? So we've got our palms facing towards us, and here we've got the palms facing forwards. You can see what happens to the elbows. The elbows go from tight in to out like that. And when we're in that position, then we push up overhead and then slowly back down. So this part here, when we go from here to here, works the rotator cuff and the control around your shoulder blade muscles. And then going up like this works your triceps at the back of the arm, but more importantly, your deltoids and your rotator cuff as well. So you're going to be doing it in this kind of tempo. You want to curl, twist, and press, and then down, in, and down. And you might want to repeat 10 of those in a row, 3 sets each time you do it. Just do that once or twice a week to build up the kind of protection and control around your upper body that you need to keep yourself safe. I actually have a second concern about yoga for people over 50. And many people start a yoga practice because they've got pain in some part of their body and they've been told that yoga will be a great way to relieve the pain. And often it is, but yoga can often make things worse as well. Let me tell you a story from the clinic. I had a lady who came to see me a couple of years ago, and she had some really deep groin pain. It was hurting her when she was walking up and down hills and on stairs, and her friend said to her, join a yoga class because you'll be able to stretch your hips and it will make it better. Well, she started the class, she diligently went for 3 or 4 months, but the groin pain didn't improve. In fact, every week it was getting worse and worse and worse. She was at her wit's end and she finally came to see me for an assessment. Now I looked at her hips and what she thought was just a tight groin muscle, It turns out it was actually a labral tear, which is the cartilage around the hip joint had a tear in it, and every time she was stretching it and mobilizing it in her yoga class, she was tugging on that tear, and she might have even made it worse. With that lady, we stopped the yoga, we started strength work instead. She built up the muscles around her hip, and slowly over time, her symptoms improved. So the take-home message here is yoga is not a fix-all for everything. It's a fantastic exercise as long as you're also building strength. I hope that's been useful. If it has, then do please drop a comment below. I would love to read your thoughts and whether you agree or disagree with my points here. Again, these are just my opinion, so hopefully you can share your opinion as well, and I'll see you again on the next one.